Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am SG, and on this channel, we talk about life, love, dating, and relationships. Tonight, I am reviewing Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 9. I've decided to review Ready to Love because it is a dating show, and that is what I discuss. My podcast is Let the Ladies Speak, and that can be found on all podcast platforms. And so I decided to bring my podcast to YouTube. And with that, I decided to add the reviews to the show. I want to thank you and welcome to all of the new subscribers. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. So let's get into tonight's episode because there's a lot going on. And I really think that this should be titled accountability and immaturity, because there was a lot of immaturity and a lot of accountability. And honestly, I want to do some takeaways, and I'll do that, but I think I'm going to do something separate just because I don't want the videos to be too lengthy, but there's a lot of takeaways. The reason why I decided to review this show in the first place is because it's so relatable to what happens on this show is so relatable to dating right now. And I just like to give my commentary, my input, and some tidbits on it. So let's get into tonight's episode. So of course we left off with Dave and Liz, and Dave losing control. So David is losing control. He's still trying to fight to talk. He won't let Liz talk. And basically he's like, I eliminated myself. And of course, he eliminated himself because he didn't want to be eliminated. He couldn't bother to give up that amount of control. That's just kind of how David operates, I feel. He walked away. He said no questions. I'm going to tell you what bothered me, though. And you are accountable for your behavior. This has nothing to do with the devil. So he says, when I see the devil creeping in, I get ahead of him. This has nothing to do with the devil. And if you want to talk about the devil, you could talk about the things that are inside of you that you have not dealt with, right? But the devil isn't doing this, David. You're doing this. Don't leave. People get themselves in trouble, and it's always God or the devil. Sometimes it's just you. And in this case, it's just you. Have a lot of healing to do, a lot of things you need to address. And I just think David needs to go do that. But it was disappointing to see how immaturely he handled this, but I'm not going to say I'm surprised. And on the other hand, to add on to the immaturity was Ron and Alexis. So they're finishing up with their discussion as well. And Ron, they started off with the conversation where Ron told Alexis she could do nothing for him, which again, Ron, you said she can do all these things. If you have just decided that you're upset and you're frustrated, you use those words. I really want our men and women to use your words. You have to learn to communicate. You have to learn to have conversations. Acting out isn't how you properly communicate or how you properly move a relationship forward or even end a relationship, you know? He said he wanted someone to have fun with, and that's where he's going to see. I'm happy he learned that about himself, that what's most important to him is that he has fun with his partners. But basically, you weren't feeling Alexis anymore for whatever reason it was. And you should have just said that. But to dig at her and be so rude and unprofessional and just so mean towards her, I felt was completely and totally unnecessary. Alexis can be a little bothersome at times, but in the same token, she didn't deserve the treatment that he gave. So basically, Brian is gone and David is gone, which the predictions were right that they were leaving. I just hate that they represented themselves the way that they did on their way out the door. They really showed poor sportsmanship and a lack of maturity. So, and accountability, which is what this show should have been titled for this season. This episode should have been titled Lack of Accountability and Immaturity. So I stated that Ron was being rude and immature, and he told Alexis he had a date with Amber, and then on that date with Amber, he kissed Amber. And that's kind of surprising. It's like, when did they start having interest? And he said, yeah, we talk every day. So his intention was to hurt Alexis and to take digs at her, which again shows his level of immaturity. None of that was necessary. It would have been better for him to just say, you know what? It didn't work out. The same way you leave a job, it didn't work out and you go your separate ways. Like there was no reason for some of his behaviors. Tommy meets up with the gentleman in the gentleman's lounge and it's time for them to talk about what they're going to do for the week. Tommy lets them know that they are going away on a ranch, which is good. I think I like the dynamic better when they're all at a ranch. Okay. I like that dynamic. So they're going to a ranch and the men notice that there are some men that are missing and Joel's starting to get worried. So Joel said, I gotta buckle down because, it could be me. I gotta lock this thing down. Joel, I was rooting for you. Okay. I was rooting for Joel. I really thought that Joel was going to, be something that he isn't showing. I don't think he's really ready. Somebody commented that he was divorced before he got on the show and his wife passed after he had been divorced, which if that's true, it's like, how deceitful are you? So now I'm giving everybody the side eye, but I did look on his Instagram and he's an actor and a rapper. I was like, so you are here for fame? Because let me be honest, I don't feel like he's into Vernisha. I think he likes her enough. I think he finds her attractive. I think he likes the fact that she can be a mother to his children. But I don't think he really wants to be with Vernisha, nor do I think he's ready to really settle down. His behavior as of current isn't showing a man of intention and a man of maturity and a man who's ready to be in a relationship. But let me get off my soapbox. So Tommy meets up with the guys and KG said he gets to spend time with Amber, so he's excited. Joel is sweating bullets because he doesn't know what's going to happen with him next. And, Tommy lets them know the numbers are off. There are a total of 9 people. There are 5 women and 4 men. So you guys, don't go out there running game. Don't go out there running game. Go out there ready to love. And I made the comment, Tommy, it's too late. Everybody's already playing games. Even Jason, everybody's playing games. And it's really unfortunate, But again, it mirrors current day dating. It's so relevant to how dating is today. So they get to the ranch. The cast arrives. Alexis comes. No, I'm sorry. Liz comes. Jason has all 18 of her bags. Jason, I'm going to give Jason credit for this. Jason makes sure he's a gentleman. Although I don't know, something is interesting about Jason. But I'm going to tell you, he's going to wine and dine you. And he is going to be a gentleman. So they arrive at the ranch. Alexis expresses she's upset and she has some things to get off her chest. She also says that regarding Amber, and she also says that she's bothered because AJ has not contacted her or hasn't responded to her. So they had this date with the kids and all of that. And then she hasn't heard anything from AJ. Here's the thing. You got to learn to pay attention, ladies. Listen to what a man says. Don't hear what you want to hear. Really listen to what that man says, because you know what AJ said to her? He said, I'm here with you right now. That means in the moment. That's what he said, I'm intentional right now. That was in that moment in time. He said, I'm pursuing you right now. And the fact that he hasn't continued to pursue you, to show intention, is letting you know you're not a priority to him. Not like you want him to be. He isn't for you, Alexis, and you just have to understand that and let that go. I really am going to do a separate video on her, but I'm gathering information because she's the gift that keeps on giving. But Alexis, you really, 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 you got to love yourself more, honey. I know she does a lot of, I'm confident and I'm this and but I don't believe that you believe that, and you want to be chosen. You want to be picked. You kind of have to know your worth, and the man that sees that worth in you will come to you. He will be attracted to you. But anyway, off my soapbox. So Alexis has to talk to AJ, and she has to talk to Amber. So they're all sitting around. Everybody comes in, says hey, gives each other hugs, chit chat, shows off abs, the whole 9 yards. And then they're all sitting at the bar talking, right? And so Vernisha and Joelle is kind of going back and forth, and she's like, he said, I'm trying to connect with my connection or something. And then Vernisha said, well, who's your primary connection? And he says, you. So Amber feels the need, which I didn't know Amber was a little messy boots, honey. Amber feels the need to, in front of everybody, call out Joelle and say, oh, so Kyra's not your number one? Because Ron told her that. Ron told Amber, which lets you know how in depth their conversations get. Ron told Amber that Joelle chose Kyra the last time in their eliminations. So of course Vernisha is blindsided and she's upset about it, as you should be, because wait a minute, all this time it's just been you and I, and now we're talking about Amber. Where did this even come from? And why, most importantly, didn't she hear that from you? And see, man, sometimes y'all get that mixed up because you feel like a woman is reacting from what you did. It's not always what you do, it's how you do it. And it's your lack of communication. They're not a couple. So I think Vernisha, she's understanding that. But at the same time, if anything like that was to happen, that should come from you. That shouldn't have come from Amber, especially in this setting. So Vernisha gets upset, but she tries to play it off. And Joelle is acting as though he doesn't really understand why she's upset. But he said, who told her in the first place? Which it breaks guy code. What happens in their in the man cave, I guess, supposed to stay in the man cave. So I understand what he's saying there, but that doesn't negate the fact, Joelle, that you should have told her what happened. She should have never found out anything else, because it's going to come out. It's being filmed. It's going to come out anyway. That should have came from you. And it's kind of cowardly of you that you didn't say that. And then the whole reasoning behind it, oh, well, it was because we had a misunderstanding, a miscommunication. No, you didn't keep your word. She called you on not keeping your word. And Vernisha even said in this conversation, you keep doing things, which, Vernisha, you are a beautiful woman, and I understand that you are attracted to Joelle, but Joelle is not it. Joelle is not ready, and Joelle is letting you know sometimes we have to accept nonverbal communications. It's not just what they say, it's what they do. And if what they do and what they say don't match up, go with what they're doing, because what they're doing is the truth. And so the way he's acting, it's letting you know he just wants the attention. He just wants to be there. He's okay with you, but his intention isn't really to be with you. Okay. And that's what needs to be understood. Next, the ladies are talking, and they're outside talking because the Seagram's gin truck came up and gave them some alcohol ices. And Kyra's asked the ladies, what are they looking for? And Alexis says she's looking for a man who made up her mind. And see, this is why I really have to talk about Alexis. Sometimes what hasn't been said is enough. Going back to the same thing I said about Vernisha. The fact that he hasn't given you anything, he hasn't said anything, you don't have... Listen, move on with your life. If he wants you, he'll come for you. Move on with your life, because he's showing you that you are not a priority for him. Trust me, men are hunters, and when they want you, they come for you. He's not coming for you, Alexis. So, but that's what she says she wants. And Kyra says, well, I'm not sure either. And Alexis is like, yeah, I know. And in other words, you're holding me up too, because I'm sure AJ will say he's going to go with Alexis if Kyra was to pick Jason, but that's because he wants to stay on the show, I think. I don't think it has anything to do with really wanting to be with her. That's just my opinion. So Kyra says she's just unsure. Jason is her number one, but AJ is, he's moving up the the chain. And I don't know, he's on Jason's heels, and I really don't know what AJ is doing. Like, I know the editing has been interesting and they're not showing everything, but what exactly is AJ offering? What is he doing? What is his intention? I will say AJ has dated Kyra more than he's dated anyone. So Jason and AJ are talking about Kyra, and they both feel like she's saying she's interested, but also talking about the other person. So AJ feels like Kyra keeps picking Jason, and Jason feels like Kyra keeps picking AJ. And AJ says Kyra needs to be accountable. I was like, are you talking, sir? Because you haven't said anything concrete or done anything concrete in this whole 9 episodes. I'm so confused. But AJ says Kyra needs to be more accountable and proactive. And here's the thing. AJ is looking for a woman with more masculine energy, I believe. He wants to be pursued. I think that makes him feel safe. I think he feels safe if the woman is pursuing him, because AJ, his biggest issue is he doesn't want to be rejected. That's his problem. That's one of them anyway. He doesn't want to be rejected. He doesn't want to be let down. And so that's the problem. So if she lets him down, if he pursues you and then you hurt him, that's a fear of his. And so he wants you to pursue him because that's his comfort zone. But again, that is not operating out of the masculine energy that Kyra says that she's looking for. That's why I find it so interesting. But I think Kyra is physically attracted to AJ. And sometimes in these kind of situations, you just have to deal with the person for who they are in that moment, you know? And if he's somebody you're just attracted to, then that's what it is. But if you're saying you're looking for a lifelong partner, and he's not offering you anything else, then you have to make some decisions. It's really time to have a conversation with yourself. Joelle and Vernisha are in the kitchen making small talk. Instead of Joelle just saying, I'm sorry, I apologize, because when you apologize, you have to say what you're apologizing for. So instead of Joelle just saying, I apologize for not telling you, and I'm sorry you had to find out this way, and he's doing this whole dance with it. It's like, it's kind of ridiculous how this conversation is going. But I will say that Vernisha handled it well, in the sense that I don't think I would have entertained it as much as she did, because he is not taking any ownership of anything. So anyway, they have words back and forth. He dodges the apology. Vernisha says that I always choose you, and it's a red flag. It's a red flag that the moment something goes wrong, that's what he does. So you have to take that information and decide, moving forward, what is it that I'm going to do? Moving forward, what is it? This is how this person is going to treat me. Am I okay with that? Because again, he won't even apologize. So Joelle's acting like it's not a big deal. Vernisha said, okay, fine. So she storms out. She goes out, talks to the ladies, and KG is there. KG, I take my hat off to you, sir, because KG came in the house and called Joelle out on his stuff and made him take accountability, And I think men need to do that more. I mean, we really need to make it more normal where men hold other men accountable, because Joelle did go eventually and apologized to Vernisha, and they had a little conversation, and she said something that, it's not for me to like, but I didn't really like. She said, when I'm mad, I get over it. Don't give somebody a pass to mistreat you, because he's going to take that in, and he's going to know next time, maybe he doesn't have to work so hard, or he didn't even work hard this time, but he may feel like he doesn't need to put forth effort when he's done you wrong. You should have kept it as it is. I'm going to operate with you. I'm going to treat you this way until I know for sure you're going to treat me properly. Until then, you're in this box, But Vernisha forgave him. They batted eyes at each other. They talked about how both of them wanted to be heard and things like that. But we'll see. I think Vernisha should just leave him alone. And if he's somebody you just want to date for something to do, let him be that for something to do. So Jason and Liz went out for a little mini date. They're comfortable with each other, and Jason tells Liz that she's his piece. And Liz acknowledges his consistency, and she thanks him for that, which is very important. Showing your partner or the person you're dating or dealing with appreciation for the things that they do correctly is important. And I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but you really should, because that is positive reinforcement. And what it does is it makes the person, if they really care, want to do more for you. So when a person is doing right by you or doing the things that you like, make sure you acknowledge that, make sure you let them know, I really enjoyed when you did what you did, whatever that is. So I like the fact that Liz acknowledged his consistency. They kiss and say they're feeling each other. And Jason said he forgot about Kyra and AJ in that moment. But I think that was kind of short-lived once they got back to the actual cabin. Alexis and AJ are talking, and Alexis says she feels neglected. She's annoyed because he's not pursuing her. If he's not pursuing you, Alexis, you have to let it go. You have to let it go. She's ignoring all the red flags is what I put. So, and the thing is, she's like, well, you want Kyra. It's not even about Kyra. Stop competing with these women. It has nothing to do with Kyra. It has to do with his interest in you, because they're all there dating each other. It's a dating show. What is his interest with you? What are his intentions with you? Are his words matching up with his actions? Is he pursuing you? Is he dating you? Does he show you that he cares about you and he's thinking about you? The answer is no. So it's time for you to make a decision and move forward. So later they're playing truth or dare, and they dare KG to rub Amber's feet, and he does. And then Joel and Vernisha, they ask them to kiss, and they do. And it's such an awkward kiss. From what they showed, it was awkward. It didn't show any compassion or any passion or anything. And you would think with all of that they supposedly have going on with one another, that the kiss would have been more passionate. He had his eyes open. He looked like he didn't really want to. I think Joel has a woman at home, or maybe several women at home. There's something going on with Joel. Joel, I got my eye on you. They asked Jason if he was torn between two ladies, and he said yes. And he said who, and that's Liz and Kyra. And he said who was he feeling more, and he couldn't say. And Kyra got offended because she was like, I always pick him first. But Jason couldn't say. And here's my problem, Jason. You was just up there playing kissy face with Liz, talking about you weren't thinking about anything or anyone else, and you forgot about Kyra. And then you also said that, you wouldn't kiss Liz again unless you knew that you wanted to be with her. So I need for you to stand in that, sir. But I like how Liz operates. Liz won't say anything, but she'll get you when she gets you. But she didn't say anything. But Kyra's really bothered. Even they went horseback riding. Did I talk about that? I think I did. They went horseback riding. And when they were horseback riding, you kept seeing Liz check for where they were. And even when they were sitting down, it was Liz's idea to play the game, right? And so Liz was like, are y'all okay? Y'all tired? Y'all finished eating? Get out the corner. Because she was sitting by herself, because Alexis and AJ were sitting together, and Liz and Jason was sitting together. And I just think Kyra doesn't want to. Kyra doesn't like to lose. She's very competitive, and right now she's no longer in control. So it's like you kind of have to let that go and just make a decision. Make a decision as to what it is that you want. But anyway, back to the game. They asked AJ the same question. Who was he torn? Was he torn? And so AJ said that he was torn. He was torn between Kyra and Alexis. He says that Kyra is familiar and they have history. And then Alexis, he just basically said they're getting to know each other and he's been enjoying that. But I honestly think that I don't think that AJ really has feelings for Alexis. I just think she pursues him. And he's kind of a pick-me just like she is. He's just not vocal like she is. Oh, after what he said about me, that softened my heart a little bit. And here's the thing. I don't know if something was edited out, but I'm like, what did he say that softened your heart? I just really don't be so willing to sell yourself short. Don't take a little. You don't deserve that. Get exactly what you deserve. You know you're going to be a good woman to whatever man you end up with. You know you're going to be a good woman to that man. You know you're going to love him. You know you're going to support him. You know you're going to make sure he accomplishes his dreams. Like if you know that, don't shortchange yourself. And she shortchanges herself. And one, chasing a man who really, he doesn't want you, for one. And I'm not even being mean. He's not showing that you are a priority for him. Okay. And then number two, all they have to do is give you a little, and that's enough for you. And you've taught AJ that. And listen, you teach people how to treat you. You taught AJ that if he gives you a little, it holds you over. So he gave you a little, and that's going to hold you over. AJ's trying to make it to the end. It has nothing to do with Alexis. And I'm sad for her for that. But I really wish she would just walk away. Those are my feelings. So AJ actually, he has an issue with communicating. AJ actually communicated more than Jason did, which is unusual. They asked Liz about David and how that went. And Liz gave a very nice professional response. She just gave a quick synopsis. He said he was eliminating himself and he didn't really want to go into things too much. That's what she said. And they couldn't really communicate. But she didn't really go into how crazy he was outside acting. She kind of left that alone, but she did make it be known that it didn't go well. But she didn't bash him or anything. So that was very ladylike of Liz. And then, of course, Alexis was like, well, I got to talk about Ron. And then they said, yeah, we want to hear about Ron. And then she went into it about how condescending Ron was. But she brought up the fact that Amber kissed Ron. And I didn't know that Amber and Alexis were the closest were close at all. And so Alexis' issue was, I've talked to you about this man. We prayed together, all these things, and you kissed him. Now, here's my issue with that. That I feel like she should have, if that was really her friend, like she's trying to say, she should have at least gone to her and asked her first. Because Amber did say, let me explain, and she didn't want to hear it. And it's like, well, no, you got to hear. Because was this a kiss, or was this a kiss on the cheek or the forehead? Like, did he kiss her hand? What kind of kiss was this? You didn't get that. You're going by what Ryan said in the heat of the moment when Ryan was upset. You can't really take that for face value that she betrayed you as a friend. Now, could Amber have told her, I met with Ryan, I went on a date with Ryan, because KG over there looking confused, like when did all this happen? She could have approached it differently, just talking to Alexis about what happened. But I don't see where I feel like it was some displaced anger. I feel like she should have focused a little bit more on figuring out what happened before she reacted. But she basically called her a Judas because she felt betrayed by her, which she has a right to feel betrayed if she really knows what happened. The thing is, you don't really know what happened. So why do you really feel betrayed? So, because it is a dating show, they can go on dates together. But, I don't know. Amber should have contacted her, though, and let her know that she went out with her. But I feel like Alexa should have pulled Amber to the side first and had a conversation to figure out what happened before she reacted in front of everyone the way that she did. That is how a grown woman handles things. But I really think Alexis is unraveling because nothing is really going her way. And again, she's another person that doesn't like rejection. And because she doesn't like rejection, she doesn't want to be embarrassed and she doesn't want to be rejected on this show. But that comes with it. I have a lot of takeaways. I'm not going to go over them now because I'm actually going to do a podcast recording. I have to do my outline for it. But this is what I'm going to say. When you put yourself out there to love, you have to be in a healthy enough place to understand that both of you guys are not going to be perfect. Okay. Number two, when you put yourself out there and you say, I'm ready to date and love again, you're going to run the risk of being hurt again. You're going to run the risk of things not going well. It's going to be a bumpy road 9 times out of 10. You have to heal yourself and love on yourself enough. You have to grow and gain trust in yourself and your higher power to know that you can make good decisions. You have to do inward work. Alexis, I hope you guys enjoyed the review and the content. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please leave comments below. Let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree? You have anything added? Is there anything I missed? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. I'm wishing you the very best. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful work week. Hugs and kisses. Thank you for letting me speak. Love you for who you are and take care. Bye-bye.